In today's video, I'm going over my top 5 financial mistakes in Pokemon. If this is your first time to the channel, I'm Cody from Zellig's Pokemart. Before we get started, make sure you do me a solid. If you like this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. That way you're notified every time I upload new content. Now let's get right into this video. With all the hype around Pokemon and all the talk about monetary value in the hobby, it's hard to believe that Pokemon can actually be a bad investment, that it can actually be a financial mistake. Well, I'm here to tell you nobody is perfect. I'm a small business owner, and I can tell you right now, I've made a lot of financial mistakes in Pokemon, and I'm going to go over my top 5 financial mistakes. Number 5. This set that I'm going to show you is a set that's still very overhyped, and it got extremely popular at the end of last year when Logan Paul entered the hobby, and that would be XY Evolutions. And XY Evolutions is not necessarily a bad investment. If you did buy in before the hype, then you are sitting on a very good investment. But there are a lot of people that bought in because of the hype, and that's where timing really is not your friend, because if you bought in at the hype, chances are you lost a lot of money. XY Evolutions went up to over $1,000 per booster box at one point in time. Now we're looking at $700-ish to $800 on a high for a booster box. Now, during this time, I bought in a case of these sealed blisters. Now, the blisters are more rare to find than the booster boxes. Bought a case because I wanted to make sure that I had some for customers, because customers were looking for XY Evolutions everywhere. And I wanted to make sure, as a store owner, I had what people wanted. And this was a little bit more rare to find than a booster box. And these were perfect for sealed collections. Now, I did sell most of the case. I had to pay $600 for a sealed case of these, and they only come with 16 in there. Just to give you an idea, it's quite a hefty investment for a single pack of cards. These were going for about $50 at one point in time. I'm still sitting on about 3 of these blisters, and that's okay. I don't mind having these sitting around, but that $600 could have been spent better elsewhere. Number 4. Number 4 is not an old out-of-print set. It's actually a fairly modern set, and that would be Battle Styles. Now, what happened here with Battle Styles is it's not a terrible set, but a lot of stores got stuck with a lot of product that they couldn't even move. Stores that didn't even order Pokemon in the past, or barely ordered Pokemon, ordered a ton of this. They were sitting on product, and a lot of stores ended up canceling their orders, leaving the more valued customers, the people who, the storefronts that are not going to actually cancel their orders because they value the relationship with their distributors. It left them with a lot of extra product, because now we weren't expecting to get everything, and most people end up getting almost everything that they ordered. And now it's actually hard to move this product, which is why you see booster boxes for about $85 to $95 a booster box, and you see ETBs for $30 to $35 a ETB. Nothing wrong with having sealed products sitting around, but I'm sure a lot of other people could agree that my money could have been spent better elsewhere. Number 3, this investment, this wasted money, this wasted opportunity was actually not a product, but it was a service. And that service would be grading cards, in particular, PSA. I know what you're thinking. Well, if you're going to pick a service, you better pick PSA. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. It's not 100% true, and this is why. With how bad their backlog is, they are just slapping grades on cards at this point. And I'm being serious. I'm not bashing on them. This is just the truth. I've seen so many people getting their submissions back with absurd grades. Cards that were minty fresh, that were coming back with 6s and 7s. I sent out 2 cards with the express service, and I really regret it. The one card I sent out was actually a strong PSA 10 candidate, and the other one was a strong PSA 8 candidate. Not only did they come back lower grades than expected, they depreciated a lot during the time I waited. Even though I paid extra for express service, it still took months for the cards to come back. The one card was the McDonald's 25th Anniversary Pikachu, which came back a PSA 9, which had no whiting on the edges and perfect centering. Sadly, I do not understand how this did not get a 10, but a 9 is not worth even the cost of grading. But the next card is even a bigger shock, because I sent in a near mint copy of Neo Genesis Lugia. Beautiful card. And it came back a 6. Now this card I examined. I had multiple copies of this card before I sent it. It was one of my nicest copies. And I've seen PSA 8 look to be in worse condition than this card. And yet it came back a PSA 6. I potentially could have sold this card for more money in its raw form than it is worth graded. Number 2. Vintage is just absurd. It's out of reach for many people, but this was not always the case. Back in the very beginning of 2020, vintage was still obtainable by most people, and I was one of those people that still took advantage of opening vintage packs. Now, I came across a bargain on a half of a booster box, a first edition Jungle. They were all unweighed packs, and I opened some myself and confirmed that there were hollows amongst these packs. I picked up a lot of 18 for approximately $1,500 to $1,600. Hundred, not thousand, $100. Being impatient, I ended up selling them off to make money so I could put it back into the business, when realistically I should have held these packs because they are worth a whole lot more now than they were when I sold them. Most of these packs I sold off for about $150 to $200, and really right now I'm seriously regretting it, because honestly I would even want to hold on to an art set if I could at this point. This isn't even the worst part of it. I actually had about 5 packs sitting around that I couldn't even move, so I basically liquidated them and I sold them all to someone for an even bigger discount. My number 1 biggest financial mistake in Pokemon. Now, if you are a fan of Japanese, or at least are knowledgeable in Japanese Pokemon, then you're going to probably know exactly what I'm about to show you. And that is a CP6 first edition booster box. This is the 20th anniversary booster box for Japan. This is similar to the XY Evolution set, but much better. The cards are cleaner, better condition, and they're just overall more beautiful cards. Now, I bought this box for $200. Sitting around sealed in my collection, I was bored. I decided to open it up. Biggest mistake of my life, because this booster box now sells for over $2,000. And I would not have even had to hold it for very long for it to get to that price point. I bought this box back at the very beginning of 2020, if not the end of 2019. I potentially lost $1,800 by opening this booster box. So those are my top 5 financial mistakes. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments below, what are your biggest financial mistakes in Pokemon? If you like this type of content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support, everyone. And as always, let's make like Charizard and keep this passion burning.